Hello everyone, how's it going? Have you ever wondered if you should take your thyroid medication before or after you get your labs done? We definitely want to get the most accurate results because we want to make sure our prescriber is giving us the right dosage. Well, if that sounds interesting to you, then keep watching. Now, if your dosage of thyroid medication is too high or too low, it could actually result in symptoms. So obviously we want to get the right dosage to make sure that we're going to be feeling our best. Over the years, I've asked my doctors and lab technicians if I should go ahead and take my medication before the lab work, and they've always said yes. And I found out that that's true sometimes. I also thought it was interesting to find out that there are medications and supplements that can interfere with the thyroid blood test results. Toward the end of the video, I'll actually list some of those supplements and medications that can cause you to get an inaccurate result. But for now, let's talk about when it might matter whether we take our medication before or after our labs, and when it might actually not make any difference. So if you're taking a T4 only medication like Synthroid or a generic like levothyroxine, it can take up to 9 days for that dose to clear the body. So whether you take the medication right before your labs or you haven't taken it for 48 hours, your TSH results should be the same. It's also true with the T3. When you're taking a T4 medicine only, the free T3 will be relatively constant. Now, it's different when it comes to your levels of free T4. After you take your T4 medication, those levels actually peak 2 hours later. So if you were to take the T4 medication around 6 a.m. and then go get your blood work done around 8 a.m., the labs may show the T4 falsely elevated, and that could cause the doctor to actually lower your medication when your levels were really within range for the rest of the day. Now, in most cases, it'd be fine to take your thyroid medication before you get your labs in the morning, because the doctor usually adjusts the dosage according to TSH. However, in order to get an accurate reading of what your T4 is for most of the day, it'd actually be better to take the medication after you get your labs done. Well, what about those taking T3 medications like liothyronine? Well, the timing of the test may actually matter. Right after you take the medication, the T3 levels rise and they peak around the 4-hour mark. So if you were to take the T3 medication a few hours before you got your labs done, it could actually look like you have too much T3, even though you don't. Or it may look like you're in the normal range when your dose is actually too low. Also, T3 medications can temporarily alter TSH levels, so it may be best to take those medications after you get your labs done. Well, how about the timing of those who are taking a T3, T4 combination medication? And what about supplements and medications that might interfere with your blood test results? Well, we're going to talk about that shortly. But first, I'd like to remind you to please like and subscribe if you're enjoying today's information. If you do decide to subscribe, make sure you select the all option. That way YouTube will let you know every time I have a new video coming out. Also, just a reminder, there are product suggestions down in the links below and more information you can read. And please feel free to leave a comment if you have something you'd like to share on this topic. All right, so those taking the T3, T4 combination medications like Armour or Thyroid, well, the timing is going to matter because, as we talked about before, whenever you take a T3 medication, it can alter the TSH levels. Boy, this is such a tongue twister. And they can actually drop the TSH levels for about 5 hours before they start to rise again. And depending on the formulation you have of T3, T4 combination medication, it may be necessary to have T3 and T4 testing done. But that's something that your doctor can determine. But if you are taking a T3, T4 combination medication, it may be best to take the medication after you get your labs done. Now, I've been reading a little bit more about biotin. Apparently, it doesn't affect the absorption of thyroid medication, but if you're going for a thyroid blood test, it's best to stop taking it 2 days before you may wind up getting inaccurate results from the blood test. All right, well, what about some of these medications that could possibly interfere? Well, certain NSAIDs, which are usually taken to help with inflammation and pain, could actually affect this. One that was mentioned was naproxen, and then these other two that were listed said that they have been found to decrease serum T4 and T3 measurements. Other medications that actually could interfere with thyroid lab measurements are certain anticonvulsants, dopamine, and some steroids such as cortisone. So you can ask your doctor about that and how they might affect your blood test results. So just as a quick recap, if you take a T4 medication only and you want accurate test results for T3 and TSH, you can pretty much take the medication anytime before or after, and you'll be able to get an accurate result. Now, if you're taking a T4 only medication and you want accurate results for your readings of the T4 levels, it's best to take the medication after. And if you're taking any medicine containing T3, it's probably better to take the medication after you get your labs done. So even though it may not matter in some cases, I kind of just thought maybe it's best to just go ahead and I'll always get my labs while I'm fasting first thing in the morning. That's what you need to do when you're getting other labs anyway, a lot of times. And then I'll just bring my medication with me and take it right after my labs to make sure I'm getting the most accurate result. Of course, I would always recommend consulting your doctor. But another really good suggestion I read about was it said to consult your pharmacist every time you're going to start a new medication. They may actually be able to tell you if that medication will affect your thyroid dosage or your labs. So we all want to get the most accurate results. We want to ensure that we're getting the correct dosage, because if we're getting the right amount of thyroid hormone, we're actually going to feel our best. However, there are many people who take levothyroxine, and there are 5 common mistakes that are made. You can check out this next video here for more information on that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's information, and I hope to see you in the next video where we'll discuss another way we can improve our health.